just stop us there. Sam, do you know that song? So Dylan is doing the tenor line. Okay, so if you can bring him out just for that tenor line.
I can also boost it just from here.
Oh, that would actually be better if you did it. Yeah. So it's about 8 bars, hey? Yeah. Okay. Is that all right? Mm. Okay.
Okay, so we're not doing this version of this.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they know that version.
Hey Rory, are you there?
So I think the girls are here. They're just coming. So I don't think we're doing this there.
Sorry Rory, I just wanted to check that you can hear us and we can hear you.
Perfect, thanks. Saul, do you want me to quickly sing something?
No, that's great. I just needed you to speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Simone? They're here, hey?
Hi Kendra, we're just waiting to see if you're with us.
Hi everyone, I'm here. Sorry about that.
All good. Russia, if your microphone is ready.
Okay. Is it on? Served? Okay. Welcome all to the youth service of 2022. I will now hand over to Jessica, who will sing a struggle song about youth.
So this is a youth song, which I learned many years ago. It's called Tina Silulucha, We Are the Youth, and we will not be killed by the oppressors. That's what it means. And I think we've done it once before in Shul. And the third section requires you to get involved. And we just sing Sisebacha, and you move around singing Sisebacha. So you'll know when to do it. But please join in. It'll be fun. So it's serious, but we can also have fun doing it. Tina Silulucha. Asina kubulawa, Tina Silulucha. Asina kubulawa, Asoze sabulawa, Galama klakla sisebacha. Asoze sabulawa, Galama klakla sisebacha. Now it's time for you to get up. Sisebacha, sisebacha. Siseba, all the way around. Sisebacha, Tina, Silulucha, Asina, Kubulawa, Tina, Silulucha, Asina, Kubulawa, Asoze, Zabulawa, Galama, Klakla, Sisebacha. Asose sabulawa, galama, sisebacha, ready, sisebacha, 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 sisebacha.
We will now go to the candle blessing on page 118. Can all the youth go up to the stage, please?
Guys.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav Asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav V'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
We will now read. We enter the sanctuary on page 129. Kendra? We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into the sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross in its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We now move to a song Lechnu Narenana, on page 130. We now move to an English reading by Kwande about June 16th.
Appendix 1. From the Rockier Rioter, Tear Gas Show by Pat Hopkins and Alan Grange. The event that we remember today has been called the Soweto Riots, the Soweto Uprising, simply June 16th, the Language Riots, and the Children's War. It was all of these and none of them. It was not a riot, it was an uprising. The language issue was a symptom, not the cause. It was most certainly not a children war. Children were involved, often at the forefront, but those were often adults involved as well. Also, calling them children represents a fundamental misconception about Black education under apartheid, where scholars in high school were often aged between 18 to 22, hardly children. It was also not confined to 16th June 1976, nor was it restricted to Soweto. The flames engulfed the whole country.
We now move to a song, Ozra, on page 132.
Zarua, Latzadik, Ul Yisrael, Simcha. O Zarua, Latzadik, Ul Yisrael, Simcha. O Zarua, Latzadik, Ul Yisrael, Simcha. Ul Yisrael, Simcha.
Thank you. We will now move to another reading about June 16th. Jana?
The student uprising of 16 June 1976 marked a decisive turning point in South Africa's history. It was one of the events that marked the end of the political quiescence that fell over South Africa in the wake of the Sharpeville massacre and inaugurated a reawakening of Black resistance, which ultimately brought apartheid to its knees. On that historic day, thousands of Soweto students marched behind a single demand: away with Afrikaans. Undoubtedly, the immediate cause of the uprising was the state's decision to impose Afrikaans as a medium of instruction in the urban African schools. Students interpreted the policy as part of the government's ideology itself, with the intention of undermining the Black education yet further and entrenching the secondary status of Black youth. But the Black youth rose up against this. The struggle against Afrikaans was not simply a problem of language. Encapsulated in the rejection of Afrikaans was a series of grievances about Bantu education, the dire conditions in the townships, the suppression of Black discontent, and the denial of Black aspirations. In other words, the system, apartheid, had become unbearable, and the youth took action and rose up.
Thank you, Anna. We will now move to page 134, Romamu. Thank you. We will now have the intro to the Lachadodi by Kendra. Is Kendra here yet?
Yep, I'm here. It is now time to leave the last week behind us and to open up the door to welcome in the evening and Shabbat. I will now hand it over to Jess to sing Lecha Dodi.
Ishmi
We will now go to page 140, Ms. Moshier.
משמושיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי אסב עלי נובל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך רנן. מה גדלה מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. נשמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון.
Thank you very much. We will now go to our next reading about June 16th by Rachel.
The most iconic image from the Soweto uprising is the picture taken by Sam Nzima of Mbuyisa Makubo carrying the lifeless body of Hector Peterson, with Antoinette Sitole, Hector's sister, running alongside. Hector Peterson was only 12 years old when he was killed. He never got a chance to grow up. He never got the chance to show the world what kind of a person he was. The only thing most people know about him is his death. But Hector Peterson was so much more than a boy who was at the wrong place at the wrong time. He was a quiet but naughty boy. He was also shy and liked to play along. He would collect matches and matchboxes. Once he was playing outside and he was stung by a bee. He gently talked to the bee and asked why it had stung him, and he removed the sting and saved it in one of his matchboxes. Outside, he would also practice karate. Hector loved movies and used to save his pocket money to buy movie tickets and fetkoek to eat. When Hector was with his sister, Antoinette, he was not shy. With her, he always laughed and told a lot of jokes.
Thank you, Rachel. We will now move to page 140, Tzedika Tamar.
Tzadika Tamar Yifrach Keretz Balvanon Balvanon Yizke Shutalim
We will now move to page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish by Sam.
Ikaral v'ikdash meraba. V'amadi braku etevam nichmachote. V'chayachonu v'yamechonu v'chayei t'chol Beit Yisrael. V'haralav v'zman kariv v'amen. K'nei rabba mevarach l'olam amen amen. Yibarach v'yistabach v'yitvar'ar v'ytomam v'naseh. V'yitadar v'ytalei v'ytalal shmei t'kosasha b'richu. L'olam inkol brichasha v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata tamiram v'amar v'amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will now have we will now move to page 145. Teach me, O God. Yana, please.
Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of the withered leaf, on the ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise. As each morning and night you renew your days, lest my day be today as the one before, lest my routine set my ways. We have finished the introduction part of the service and we are now moving on to the main part. I invite all the youth to come and do the Baruch together.
We now move to the Baruch, page 146. We will now move to page 149. This is an hour change, right?
This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly. On the border of light, what lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim.
We will now move to page 150, Vatolam, also by Rachel.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha avda. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochbeinu uvkumenu. Nashiach bechukecha, v'nishmach b'divrei Toratcha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu. Uvahem nege yoman valayla, va'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
Thank you. May Kwanda and her sisters please come up to the bima for page 152, Shema Israel.
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Thank you. We will now go to the V'ahavta by Sam and Adam and me.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך על לבביך, ושילמת בבניך ודיברת בם, ושיבך בביתך ובלך ובשוכבך ושבתם לאות תלמידיך והיו תוספות בעיניך, וקדמתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Okay, we will now move to page 155 for Lehman.
למען תישאו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לעבדים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Thank you. We will now move to page 157 for standing on potted shores. Please, Yana.
Standing on the potted shores of history, we still believe that we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Thank you. Can we please move to page 158 for Micha Mocha?
Micha Mocha, Eli Madonna, Micha Mocha, Nena Bakone, Ratehilo, Osefele, Ratehilo, Osefele, Ahutecha, Uvanecha, Moke Ayam Lifne, Moshe Umiri, Zeli, Anu Ve'abaru, Adonai Oim Lo, Leolam Va'ed, Nevenema, Kifada, Adonai, Yaakov, Ukalo, Biyad Kazak, Imenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai, Israel.
Thank you very much. We will now move to page 161 by Adam.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal One, help us to walk with good memories, good companions, to live with the hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Blessed are you, eternal one, whose shelter of peace is spread over us and all over your people, Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai haPorez ukat shalom aleinu va'al kol amo Yisrael va'al Yerushalayim.
Thank you, Adam. We will now move to page 162 for the Veshamru by Sam.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם והנה בין בני ישראל אותי עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת בלי נפש.
Thank you. We will now move to lower on page 162 for the Yismachu.
Yam bidi bam bam bam, Shabbat, Shabbat. Yam bidi bam bam bam, Shabbat, Shabbat. Yam bidi bam bam bam, Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat. Yismachu, Yismachu b'malchutcha. Yismachu, Yismachu b'malchutcha. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat, Kore Onegone Shabbat. Aham Mekadeshei Sheli, Kulam Yisbeu Ve'yitamu, Mihitu Ve'cha Shabbat, Shabbat. Yismachu, Yismachu b'malchutcha. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat, Kore Onegone Shabbat. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat, Kore Onegone Shabbat. Moshe v'ratzitamo, ratzitamo v'kidashno, chemdot yamim otam barato, zecher lema'aseh bereshit. Yismachu, Yismachu b'malchutcha. Yismachu, Yismachu b'malchutcha. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat, Kore Onegone Shabbat. Shomrei Shabbat, Shomrei Shabbat, Kore Onegone Shabbat.
Thank you. We will now progress to the Amidah. Can Kfir please come up to open the ark?
Then he even doesn't compare them to his clothes.
Thank you. We will now go to page 164 for the blessing. Yana, can you? Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tefilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Ata gibor leolam Adonai, mechaye metim ata, Rav leoshia, Mativ aruach umorid hagashem, Mazriach hashemesh umorid hatam. You are forever mighty, eternal one. You are the source of eternal life. Great is your power to redeem. You cause the wind to blow and rain to fall, the sun to shine and the dew to descend. You sustain life through love. In your compassion, you grant us eternal life, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. With who is like you, source is mighty acts, who resembles you, sovereign author of life and death, causing deliverance to spring up. Trusting in you, we see life beyond death. Blessed are you, eternal one, source of eternal life. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hametim.
Can we please move to page 170? Ata kadosh v'simcha kadosh ukdoshim bechol yom yechalucha sela Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. You are holy, your name is holy. For those who are holy, praise you every day. Blessed are you, eternal one, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Can we please move to 172? And also can Nimrod come up?
יוסף שמיים וארץ, וברכתו מכל הימים, וקדשתו מכל הזמנים, וכאן כתוב בתורתך. ויחולו השמיים וארץ, וכל צבאם. ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה. וישבות ביום השביעי, מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו. כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, שברא אלוהים לעשות.
Can we please move to page 173? Kendra, may you read that, please?
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who find struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Elohim, Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Thank you, Kendra. We have now reached the end of the Amidah, and Phil, can you please close it? Thank you. Can we please move to page 174 for Let's see.
Retze Adonai Eloheinu ve'amcha Yisrael.
Please be seated.
Utfilatam be'ahava tekabel. Util ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael. Amecha, Amecha. El karov lekol korav, bnei ha'avadecha v'chaneinu, shvoch ruchacha aleinu, v'techezena eineinu. B'shofar לציון ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, המחזיר שכינתו לציון.
Thank you. Can we please move to page 176? We acknowledge. We acknowledge with thanks that you are our eternal God and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rocks of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. Can we please go to page 178 for the Shalom Rav?
Shalom Rav al Yisrael, Amcha tasim leolam, ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom, v'tov beinecha, לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Amen.
Thank you. Can we please move to page 180? Can Gwenda and the sisters please come up on stage for their shalom?
Ose shalom bimroman, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'akol Israel, imru amen. Ose shalom bimroman, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'akol Israel. Imru, amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'akol Israel. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'akol Israel. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'akol Israel. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'akol Israel.
Thank you. Can we please move to the intro to the Mishabarach by Kendra?
We will now be moving to page 511, which is the Mishaberach. Please, if there's anyone who is ill or sick or or like anyone that you want to pray for, please mention them either out loud or in your heart, and we'll pray for them. Thank you.
John Matheson,
Thelma Resnick,
Neil Danziger,
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And Kendra will start the sermon. Hello, friends and family. I welcome you again to the Youth Service 2022. The events of June 16th, 1976, the Soweto Youth Uprising, where students protested against the notion that they were forced to learn in Afrikaans, as well as against the methods of apartheid. On this day, a lot of youth were killed. Youth were unjustly murdered because they simply wanted to understand what they learned. Each year, we remember the tragedy that befell this country, in which many children and adults died. Through this awful event, however, freedom would ensue. Change would be present and Black lives would be very different because of the bravery of the youth, as well as all the adults who joined them. Apartheid would be overruled and lives would be changed. It does not matter your race, age, or gender, anyone can make a change.
As the coordinators of the new youth group, change is our mission. Over the last 2 years, the youth group in Shul has dwindled down to a few key members. Our current goal is to steadily increase the number of people who take part in our upcoming activities. Together as a group, we have been able to host a number of successful youth-led activities where we have grown in number over time. Our group branches out to the J Kids area, as well as often inviting them to take part in our games. We believe the connection amongst the youth is essential. COVID caused many of us to be isolated. For this reason, we function as a group of friends at Shul and have lots of fun. Despite this, however, we do not stray away from more serious matters, such as climate change and social and political problems in South Africa.
In the future, we plan to contribute more towards our community through funds which could be derived from competitions or celebrations, such as the talent show. We would also like to implement the ideas of donations, preferably those of books, stationery, and other school essentials, which would go toward children who cannot afford. We also plan to do many collaborations. As of recently, we have been in communication with Netzer and are planning to do an activity with them in the near future. For example, we are doing an activity next week, which is a type of debate meets game night activity. So please do come. We are also planning to continue our most popular event, sleepovers, and hopefully there will be another one coming very soon.
Our vision for the future is to make an impact on the Shul. Through our creativity, individuality, and hard work, we seek out to be a unique and essential part of this Shul's future. As the youth of this generation, we believe that we should always keep in mind the reality that things take time and great effort. Our generation, like the ones before us, is facing our own struggles and challenges. However, if we're able to stand strong as one, even a small group of kids such as ourselves will be able to make an impact on the community at large. We hope that sooner or later, the youth group will become a space for learning and connection for the show, and that these experiences will be carried over into adulthood.
The parsha for this week is Behar Alotcha, which means when you step up, which can mean when you step up in English. The parsha tackles themes of leadership, uncertainty, and teamwork. In this segment of the Torah, we encounter Moses' hardships when it comes to leading the Israelites. We learn about his frustrations when it comes to their unnecessary demands, and we learn about and how taxing it was on him. Throughout Numbers, Moses has been faced with countless problems and setbacks to the point where it was unbearable for him. This caused him to plead with God to kill him, to end his life so that he would no longer have to deal with the responsibility and stress of his job.
And yet, instead of God granting his wish, God told him to pick out elders amongst the camp, people who would bear the burden of leadership with him, so he would no longer suffer alone. So Moses complied and picked out 70 of Israel's elders from the 12 tribes of Israel. And God transferred some of the divinity he placed on Moses onto them, and they prophesied together. Through this story, we learn that it is not wrong to have assistants, and that by working together, then and only then, can we do amazing things. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now have Yana for the alternative Aleinu.
May I be peace. May I be freedom.
May I be freedom.
May I be loving kindness.
May I be loving kindness.
May my family be peace.
May my family be peace.
May my family be freedom.
May my family be freedom.
May my family be loving kindness.
May my family be loving kindness.
May my community be peace.
May my community be peace.
May my community be freedom.
May my community be freedom.
May my community be loving kindness.
May my community be loving kindness.
May my people be peace. May my people be freedom.
May my people be freedom.
May my people be loving kindness.
May my people be loving kindness.
May my enemy be peace.
May my enemies be peace.
May my enemies be freedom.
May my enemies be freedom.
May my enemies be loving kindness.
May my enemies be loving kindness.
May all living beings be peace. May all living beings be freedom.
May all living beings be freedom.
May all living beings be loving kindness.
May all living beings be living.
Amen, so be it.
Amen,
so be it. Amen, so be it. Can Professor Williams please lead the Kaddish?
Shabbat Shalom. We'll begin with a short poem on page 593. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades or is extinguished. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we must not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness.
With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal circle of darkness and death, of light and life. Please turn now to page 597. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Zichronam livracha. This week, we think of the art sites of Kurt Bentheim, father of Susie Gundel, Miri Blumenfeld, wife of Irvin Blumenfeld, Helena Boxall, mother of Jennifer Wolfe, Hilliard Edelstein, father of Merle Williams, Ethel Gavron, mother of Stanley Gavron, Tamara Goldman, mother of Josie Goldman, Bernard Greenblatt, father of Stephen Greenblatt, Siegfried Hochfeld, remembered by Penelope Hochfeld, Erich Holtz, father of Kito Holtz, Millie Holtz, mother of Ruth Topol, Valerie Rosenberg, mother of Wayne Rosenberg and Jonathan Rosenberg, Marlene Salinger, sister of Sandy Schulman, Omer Shaked, brother of our Rabbi Sa'ar Shaked, Teresa Scher, mother of Gavin Scher. Please add names, Leslie.
I want to acknowledge the family and friends of Eunice Valley, our very dear friend who passed away on Wednesday. I wanted to say that today somebody reminded us that Eunice was not exactly the custodian of what was appropriate. But I do think that Eunice would have thought it appropriate that yesterday he had a Muslim burial. Today we say Kaddish in a Jewish synagogue. And tomorrow I have no doubt that he will be having a Marxist dialectical conversation with my late husband.
Yeah. Let's now say the Kaddish together, please. Yid Gadol v'Yid Kadash Shnei Rabbah, Ve'alma Divrach Yirutei V'Yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon V'yomechon V'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ha'agala V'zman Kariv V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shnei Rabbah V'Rach Le'olam Ol'almei Almeir. Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yita'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalel shmei kudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechemata damiran v'alma v'imru amen yehei shlama rabba mishmai v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mumav, yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol b'nei adam v'imru amen. Please be seated.
I'm not going to say the announcements until the youth tell me to.
Please can we have the men come for the vote of thanks and announcements?
Thank you, young man.
Welcome.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I've actually this week or past 2 weeks been working with an organization who's produced something called the African Youth Survey. And they've done a survey in 15 countries on the continent. And something that came out that struck me was that youth are very capable, they're very opinionated, and they know exactly what they want. That 1.8 billion people worldwide are under the age of 10, between the age of 10 and 24, and that in 8 years' time, 42% of those will live in Africa. young, educated, opinionated, and know what you want, really represents you guys tonight. Thank you very, very much for a spectacular effort in taking us through the evening service. I know in particular that the rabbi would just be overwhelmed with pride to see three of his 4 young boys on the stage tonight. Just a little reminder that tomorrow night we've invited you to come to the movies with us. Merle Williams and Robin Arendster made a really magnificent conversation between Merle Williams and Albie Sachs, and they shared a snippet of it with us the other night, and it will now be screened at the after school on Saturday night at 18:30, at 6:30, and we're all invited. The students who made the film for us will be there, and we'll have a conversation with them. If you're a little bit worried about finding where after is, we're going to congregate here at the shul at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, and then we will drive with you or Uber you all to the shul. I also believe that our chair has something to say, so that is Paul Davis.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Leslie. And if you can hear me, may I echo the words and thanks to the youth and the people who organized this evening's service. It was magnificent, uplifting, meaningful, and appropriate. And I really appreciated Reshef's comment about including elders in the youth. It's something that really resonates and appeals to me. Many of your words that you spoke tonight all should be heard to a much wider audience. And perhaps more immediate is there were some lovely voices that I heard tonight. And I hope that the choir has some sort of an appeal for you if that is what you'd like to do. I'm sure that Jessica and Rory and others would be delighted to be able to admit you to the choir and for you to sing more frequently. What I really want to speak about, not really want to speak about because you spoke so well, but we started a sandwich project some 2 years ago, perhaps a bit more, to be able during COVID to feed people who were confined to their barracks in Hillbrow in the main, and they were homeless people. And that has grown over the past couple of years to a regular feeding day on Thursday at Temple Israel, where at least 300 people receive at least daily and sometimes weekly rations from this particular project. This project is sustained by a few people within our congregation who every Wednesday deliver their sandwiches, which are made from brown bread, fluoro, margarine, peanut butter, and jam. One loaf makes 8 sandwiches, and we try and encourage people to make 30 or 40 sandwiches wrapped in plastic in one form or another to be handed out and collected and handed out on the Thursday. It's a very simple thing. And for those who can't make sandwiches, we have a fund, a SAMI fund at Beit Emanuel, which we would love people to donate to. It enables us to buy things that we actually can't make. And there's one item called EPUB, which is very popular and which we can buy and repack it for them. What is very interesting about this project, apart from helping 300 people every week and more, it has done a huge amount to combine the outreach programs of Beit Emanuel, Beit Luria, and Temple Israel, and created a wonderful forum for outreach and collaboration between the congregations. It's brought progressive Jews in Johannesburg around a single project and made them much closer together. I must emphasize that although the COVID need hasn't faded, but it's certainly not the driver any longer. But the world is not without its problems. Ukraine and the problems there have produced a perilous global economy with rising costs, difficulty in procuring certain things, and job losses have all been part of that disturbance. And the very cold winter that we're experiencing now also has increased the need for us to continue this project. And that is really what I'd like to appeal to you to do. So we would like more people to make sandwiches, bring fruit and the sandwiches that I mentioned to the shul on Wednesdays, make donations. But we also need a little physical help at Temple Israel on Thursday mornings. And I'm asking to see if there are 4 volunteers or more for you to volunteer, each of you to volunteer 1 Thursday a month, but that we can put you on a roster and count on you to being there to help with the distribution and organization of these sandwiches and the other things that we are able to do. It's a very important thing that we've undertaken. It's something that I would like to endure, certainly while the need is there. And I think it's something that it has established its mark in the world of progressive Judaism in Johannesburg. And we hope more and more people will be able to join us. In addition, we've had the support, unstinted support of Temple Israel and the Temple Israel Heritage Foundation. But we've also managed to also attract the sisterhood, our own sisterhood, as well as the Union of Jewish Women to take an interest in the project. So it's got the seeds of something. And I would really like it to continue and appeal to you in one way or another to support it. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move to page 625 for the Adon Olam. Can all the youth please come up on stage?
Okay, we invite you guys to please sing it with us. Okay, let's try this. 1, 2, 3. Adon Olam, Asher Malav, Betel Goyim Sinika, Lenasa, Nefesuku, Azan
Thank you all for being with us for this service. I think it went great. And I think we can conclude with Kevin singing Shabbat Shalom.
Can Rasha help me?
No, you are singing.
No,
Fine.
you have to help me.
I never agreed to this. Okay, come on. You're starting though.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Come on, help. Come on. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Yay. You did amazing. Okay, thank you all for coming. We are going to continue in the Bucha for anyone who wants.
Shabbos, everybody.